So today we're talking about burnout. We're talking about retreats. We're talking about retreat leading, funny stories in the retreats, and how all these years of traveling and teaching yoga, sharing stories about that. And I'm so happy to share this conversation with a beautiful yoga teacher, a retreat leader, a mama, and somebody that we just crossed paths. And I'm curious what this conversation will reveal. So Malva, welcome to the Inner Talks.
Thank you so much. I'm really feeling honored. What a coincidence that we connected, and very, very happy to be invited to your space, to your podcast here in Greece, like absolutely unexpected on my way to teach my first retreat here, and actually first ever trip to Greece. So what a welcome.
How do you feel Greece is kind of like, what is the vibe? What is an energy that you receive from Greece?
Well, first of all, I'm stoked by this country being basically on the water because it's so many islands, right? There's like over 200 inhabited islands, but all the islands, like even a piece of rock in the sea, I heard it's something like 6,000, which is very impressive. I mean, what kind of country gets that, right? So you guys you know a lot about water and the color blue, that's for sure. And all the... I love the velocity here, you know, maybe not in Athens.
Yes, a very different vibe. Yes, yes.
But once you get to the islands, and every island being also different, having its own character, you get it. And it's so beautiful. It's just, you know, you go on a different gear and then you stay on that gear. And if you start to even accelerate, it's like, no, calm down.
Go down.
So
it helps, huh?
Yeah.
The environment helps you to shift gears.
Absolutely. It's like whenever I say, you know, you could be the most amazing seed, but if we put you in the dust, nothing's going to grow. So your environment also influences you, right? That's why I live in Mallorca. Because I felt like, city life, 10 years in Barcelona. And for me, it was over also very apparent after COVID that I needed to move and be in the nature.
And I think that's a beautiful path for me to ask you all about retreats. And one of your, you've doing almost one each month, and you've been doing it for how long? Is it how long you've been doing retreats, like organizing them and hosting them? And
so my first retreat was in 2015.
Okay.
And it was an Easter one. So really interesting, no? Like to start something new. And I did it with two other friends in Barcelona. We just went outside of Barcelona. Yeah. We started very gentle with, local community. We had a studio as well. So we're just starting. Yeah. And at the beginning, it was maybe 2-3 a year, usually aligned with the seasons. So it's been now I'm starting my 11th year of running retreats. Last year was a big anniversary of 10 years doing that. And when I counted all the retreats, it's around 70 retreats that I did so far.
Wow. That's a big number.
Yes.
And we'll talk about what it takes to what criteria you use and what is the point. But I'm loving the fact that you start slow.
Yeah.
Because it seems in a world that always rushing and always there is, even yoga teachers rush into growth. So it's really precious to hear that you started slow with local community and close by, and then eventually you grew into doing 70 retreats so far. But what makes you choose a location? That's kind of what intrigues me.
Okay, so as we mentioned before, it was more like local retreats because maybe you felt a bit insecure about hey, let's go big.
Right.
And also back in the day when I was starting in Barcelona, the yoga scene was very, let's say, just starting. Yeah. So there wasn't all this crazy styles like now. Just seems like there's a whole yoga buffet.
Yeah.
And back in
yoga
the day,
buffet, yes.
And back in the day, it was just Hatha Vinyasa, Hatha Kundalini.
Yeah.
and no mucho más. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. So when we started to do retreats, it was also a novelty, even in Barcelona. And I remember, like, there was no Instagram. There was just the Facebook. And we would do flyers and put them into, like, ecological shops and try to get people like that to come. And of course, our students from the school that we were running. So it felt very much like, hey, let's go on this adventure on the weekend. Yeah. So we started locally, and then slowly we began to expand. And also maybe the pressure was not there because that wasn't my main profession. Yoga was always my beloved hobby and kind of like a passion. I couldn't even say hobby. It was just somewhere where I found my refuge. But I'm actually a graphic designer from my education, from my studies. But, you know, sitting 12 hours in front of the computer, I realized
that
this
didn't
is not
quite
what I
work.
do.
Yeah.
Forever. And then I had to, I just reassessed. So basically what was my refuge place became my career.
Yeah.
And graphic design is always there in the background because I love being creative and also using that skill, but it's not my profession as such anymore, let's say.
So beautiful transition from corporate into yoga teaching full time, huh?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So how do you pick the locations? What is the, actually, before I go there, do you feel that the retreat is an escape or like, because sometimes just people want to get away from their reality.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And is it an escape or is it a conscious time to go and reconnect with yourself? Mm-hmm. What would you say about that?
I think they're both, right? Because we live in times that are very intense. There is a lot of happening all the time to us. Our nervous system is constantly overstimulated. And so for some people, it could be just like a way to escape from that. If they're in a rush of life and they need to come out and take a perspective and take a fresh breath. Meanwhile, some other people, maybe their lives are not that intense. And they're basically looking for a connection to community, not being lonely and then meeting people, because that's also what happens a lot on the retreats, right? And then maybe just a deeper dive into what's happening to them in their life and a moment to pause. And then some people also come because they just like, I just want to enjoy, I just want to have fun. Recently, I got asked from one student who's never been to a retreat, and she called me, it's like, what if we're going to get bored? I was like, oh, I never got ask that question.
Do people get bored in the retreats? I mean, yeah, yes, I guess so.
The question was like, what is boring?
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's different layers to that. Yeah, absolutely.
And how do you choose the locations?
You know, the path of hosting retreats for the past 30 years has been exactly like yours. So it progressed slowly and gradually, but it wasn't any big marketing scheme behind or a business setup idea. It was more like different decades, different things interest me. And I was more into exploring different cultures. So I'm going to admit it, it's more like me wanted to meet the world and know different parts of the world. And then I'm like, I'm going to do a retreat there. So certain areas are more appealing to me, especially like Iceland, for example, is like my favorite place. And the reason being is because nature, it's incredible. So like nature seems to pull me in. That's number one priority. And then culture, we can learn so much from just being present with other people's habits and the way they perceive life and daily life and the way they are. So it's not a very sophisticated way that I pick the locations. It's just what attracts me at that time. And then somehow I find the right people to work with. Right. People that know that area, and I'm looking for those connections that can bring that extra element. So that's the way.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, for example, it started as something quite innocent.
Yeah.
Actually, the more I do it, the more I realize that union, if we say about yoga being union, right? And being connecting through yourself to the people, through the places where you go, to nature, and expanding your ability to connect, then I see that many different locations have also a different spirit and a different soul to it. And you will feel very different practicing yoga in Ibiza, and you will feel very different practicing in Iceland.
Right.
And you will have also a different experience if you go to, maybe even for me, Poland was very different when I went 2 years in a row, just connecting to like my motherland through yoga and through bringing my community there. So that's also beautiful, no? To go to places and to drop into those places, but from a different place inside of yourself.
Yes, very true. Because we grow as teachers and humans, different connections in our minds. And that's the beauty of it. And people follow people that inspire them, people that they are living truthfully, meaning not necessarily, I'm not attached to how it's supposed to be as a yoga teacher, as a traveling teacher, as a mature or newer teacher. All of those are just limitations. I think that if you have a bright spirit and like it's appealing to people, that those are the people that will come. And it's really beautiful to see that. Like, I've watched some of your reels and I saw how you made a connection with this lady and you spent time with her, and then eventually you did the retreat. I don't remember where was that, but
Formentera.
Yes. And that's it's such an authentic way of connecting with the place.
Yes. I think it's also like whenever I go now for a long time already that I do the retreats, there is a kind of an opening, and whenever I travel, I say, let's see what is the alchemy of like my alchemy with this place. Like Malva spirit with Greece.
Right.
We are on the podcast.
Here you are. So Greece is a welcoming spirit towards you, I think.
Absolutely. Yes.
So tell me a funny story from a retreat. Something that like pops up and you're like, this is a special story.
So my sweet spot is Ibiza. I must say. And whenever my foot just like steps in Ibiza, something happens. It's like a magic bonbon, I call it. I don't want to live there because it's like, a place where you go for magic and you cannot be in the magic the whole time.
Yeah, of course. I get it.
You have to be in the terrenal as well. So I love Mallorca for that. This is more like, okay, just ground. But then every now and then I need my crazy bonbon. So Ibiza, one retreat, it was absolutely beautiful. And we did things that you normally maybe wouldn't do on a retreat. Like we had a tango class, Argentinian tango on one evening. We had a blindfold dinner. And at some point on that dinner, somebody just said, wouldn't it be amazing if we had a sauna here now? And would you believe my friend, with which I was working at that time, Buzz, he actually managed to order a portable sauna for us.
Oh my God.
And he just like winked at me and we went outside. He was like, look at this, Malva. And we had delivered to our doorway a sauna that was actually a camper van converted into a sauna.
Oh my goodness.
And then they even
what
like
a blessing.
red carpet. And we all then went and told the students, hey, come guys, see it. We opened the door and the sauna was there. They just melted. They collapsed. They were like, no, what is this? So that was definitely, maybe not a total funny, but it was definitely something beautiful. That blew my mind.
Yeah,
even.
It's so interesting when people dare to either trim or to ask for what they want. Isn't it amazing? Have you watched it? Like if you were to ask me about the same question, it would be that. Like people in retreats, when they slow down or they get out of their daily kind of grind and life, they get to ask or wonder what their life will be like. And then things show up and it's incredible that there is a power to that, to have that space of, I wish I had that. And then boom, that comes in your feet. That's beautiful.
Did you have some sort of like a funny story as well from some of your retreats?
Funny story. The funny story for me is just like because people think, because I've been a long time into the yoga scene, they think that you're going to find a very serious teacher that teaches yoga all day and talks about spirituality and the yoga philosophy. And when I'm in a retreat, I'm in my element. So I completely let go of the titles and I become a comedian. I tease everybody. So the laughter, it's a big thing for me. If you're too serious with yourself, please don't come. Go somewhere else. But like I love when people kind of like let go of what they're supposed to be, and that's very funny to me because they discover a different part of themselves. And laughter loosens up the tightness. Obviously there are practices too, but we're not all day in a practice. So like joking around, teasing each other is like the element of my retreats. And that's what it's not one story. There have so many stories of family moments, but like laughter is the key to me. Like it's really,
it just
really
makes
important.
things lighter, right?
Yeah.
It takes away the pressure. And I think that's one of the biggest outtakes of the retreats is that people are allowed to like drop the masks and you're not anymore your roles, you're not anymore your professions, you're not anymore the social roles even that you have to fulfill on everyday life. You arrive to the retreat and all of a sudden all of that is like a baggage that you just drop.
I have to say though, it takes a few days.
Yes.
Don't you find?
That's why I don't do even 3 days retreats.
Yeah.
I know it's going to take time.
7, I've done 14. Now I'm hitting my 16 days, which is going to be interesting. We're going to Patagonia and it will be interesting. But I'm very hopeful that nature and the activities will be in a blissful state the whole time. That's my intention. But I do see when they need time. People need time to just let go all what you just said. It's not very easy to let go.
Yeah.
Because
and don't
that's
you find also for us as the organizer that there had to be the journey to one day say, I'm also cannot just hold all that. I cannot be holding. The outtake for me from the retreats, from guiding the retreats is that as much as I guide them and lead them, they also guide and lead me.
Absolutely.
You know? So the more you do, the more you also realize, okay, I can set up the whole baseline.
Yes.
But whatever happens on the retreat is like, swaha. It just has to happen. Like the constellation of people come together, the place, the sometimes the weather as well, right?
Right.
And it just takes you. And you're like, I do my best and let Ganesha do the rest.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you do almost like one every month? And I will get to the whole burnout thing because I've been traveling and teaching for the past 30 years. And as I share with you privately, but it's public, I had to slow down this past year because I felt the burnout. I was into a burnout state of traveling and teaching yoga. And that's a real thing because everybody looks at our lives and they're saying, oh my God, you have this amazing life and you travel and you teach yoga. I mean, you must be in a blissful state at all time. But there is a lot more into that. And here I am in 30 years, like into it and going through a burnout and coming out of it. So I'm curious how you manage the twins, your family life, traveling, maintaining yourself. Like, tell me like a little bit of what keeps you insane,
I'm going to say it, okay? This is going to be really crazy. But actually what saved me was COVID.
Okay.
Because that lockdown, that break was like,
stop.
Basta.
Yeah.
That's it. We're stopping everything. Freeze. Reassess.
Right.
And I'm actually grateful for that.
Right.
That somehow in some sense, the whole planet had to stop.
Yeah. And
just, I think many people, if you knew how to navigate through that process, many people came out better,
stronger, more conscious,
centered, and realizing what they're about. And I was one of those people. So I had time to be with my twins. I was looked up in the nature, which was amazing because somehow intuitively, I don't know, the universe guided us to move out of Barcelona. And then 2 months later, the lockdown happened.
Wow,
and
oh my gosh, what a timing.
and we were actually in the retreat center that is now a super famous retreat center close to Barcelona. My friends run it, Amara Valley.
Okay.
And we were there, like reconstructing a retreat center.
Okay.
So what a karma.
Wow. And what a time. Synchronicity of things.
Yeah. And I never even had to almost put a mask on. You know, I was just in the forest with friends, reconstructing retreat center. And actually it was like almost 2 years of a retreat. And then I realized like whatever I was doing, I wasn't heading the right direction. Because I think us as yoga teachers, there is a shadow of being a teacher, a shadow of being a yoga practitioner, because we pull up with a lot. And on the yoga mat, we learn how to deal with pain and how to accept a lot of pain and how to, you know, keep pushing our threshold and being like, I'm okay, I can take more. But the shadow of it is that, okay, where is the moment that maybe there is not like a positive pain, negative pain? And where is the moment that you actually overexploiting yourself for the sake of others? So finding that balance for me was the key. Yeah. And actually taking care of myself and realizing what does it mean to, in Polish we say, z pustego nie nalejesz, which means from empty you cannot pour.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah.
And then you just have to be honest with yourself, and everyone will be different. You know, my teacher, Simon, he's so amazing, but he travels like crazy. I think my organism would not handle that. So we just cannot compare to others, right?
Right, of course not.
For maybe one yoga teacher running 1 retreat a year will be like, okay, that's my capacity. For other yoga teacher, maybe running 10 retreats is totally fine. So, and how was it for you? Like how did you, was it like a slow burnout that creeped in, or was it something that came in and one day you were like, okay, I can't anymore?
Yeah, I think that because I've been traveling and teaching teacher trainings, that means like a month at a time, a different location. Yeah. And then being on the plane all the time, also shifting from country to country. I remember one year I was teaching a teacher training in Iceland, and then I came back in Greece for a day, and then I went for a month in Thailand, in Koh Samui. So different climates, my body just kind of like accumulated all these shift and change. And I thought I was doing okay because I thought I was taking care of myself while in it. But then when I slowed down, I discovered a new layer of being tired and not motivated. And I was start asking questions, what this serves me. And, you know, you're getting old, like what I'm trying to say, you're getting older, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm having a blast right now, but with my age, no problem. But definitely you have to readjust based on what it's needed now. Yeah. So with that said, it kind of crept in. But then I realized when I started slowing down that I had to shift. And to be honest, it wasn't as hard, because one of the gains that you get from traveling and moving is that you know that change is part of life and you're familiar with it. Yeah. So when I start feeling all the symptoms of the burnout, I immediately said, oh, this is not, I have to look at this. So I slowed down. I had 12 trips, and I'm only doing 3 this year. Yeah. So I've kind of like cut back, stay grounded, change my routine, and I'm coming out of it. Yeah. But you have to look. Yeah. That's my answer. Like you gotta dare to look to get out of the rhythm or what is norm, even for us, because we wear the title, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm serving a purpose.
As well, right? Yeah. So last year was my record, 12 retreats. And at the end of the year, I was like, you did it. But I was like, I don't want to do it again. Yeah, here you go. But you have to do it to realize. A lot of people, they're saying, oh, be careful of this and this. I mean, the lessons are learned when you're in it, and then you can sit back, and this is where you need courage. You sit back, you look at what you've done, and then you're like, okay, now I choose this,
or I choose that. And that's how wisdom comes in, and awareness, self-awareness of where you are in life.
And I also think like with so many retreats, you kind of get more and more relaxed about it. So I learned to actually take massage on a retreat.
Of course.
And treat myself as well. And not just be like, because when you're starting, maybe when they're your first retreats, you're very much like, I want to do everything perfect and I want that it works and that people are happy. And I do like ta 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 ta. But now, because I'm also a mentor and I mentor other teachers to do amazing retreats, I always tell them, you know, just take care of yourself, because the energy and the frequency that you're going to vibe on, people are going to pick up on that. So you need to feel good. You need to transmit peace and relaxation to those people. You cannot fake that.
But it comes with time.
Yeah.
You have to go through the whole idea of being nervous and wanting to be the idea of perfection. That's a joke. But anyway, to have a perfect setup, like there's always circumstances, people that you might think everything is ready, and then everything shifts. And that's where I think with growth and with awareness, you learn to release, set up the foundation, then release within that.
I think it's something to do with also creating space for silence. That in today's society this is what I see in young teachers, that they're scared of silence. Even when I go sometimes to take a class in a studio, there is just the and I'm like, okay, but is it not the point to get out of the mind and into the body? And if somebody's talking the whole time on the yoga class, and even tell me how I have to feel,
right,
just drop me there, leave me there for a moment, like create a space, like guide me, and then let me feel what I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
When did you get there though? Like, what did you go through the pace of talking a lot? Or intuitively you were more quiet?
I think I'm just like, my character is that as much as I'm a firecracker and a crazy Polish Latina, I also have that side of being a Virgo that is like earth element.
Yeah,
so I
grounded.
Grounded. I look for spaces where I recharge in silence. And my first Vipassana was when I was 21.
Yeah.
I was like, I think the youngest in Vipassana center. So I do have that meditative part as well, which I love so much. So for me to be in silence is where I actually recharge myself, as much as I'm also an extrovert.
Oh, you're a very lucky human being. I have a funny story. Let me share a funny story. Because I wasn't an introvert. I was very much younger, an extrovert, and like really loud. So I was in California, right? And I had a friend that I met through the yoga community. Her name is Sarah Powers, and the yin yoga teacher. So her and Ty, her husband, I met them in social setting. They said, oh, we're doing a retreat in Ojai, California, come. And I read the information. The retreat name was a silent meditation retreat. I never even saw the word silence, right? Like at that time, I was 21. And of course, I was in Ashtanga practice. I was like, yoga, let's do it 7 times a week and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I go to the retreat up in the mountains, right? And we're sitting in a circle with 40 people. And here I am, the youngest one there, like literally like 21 years old. Everybody else was above 55, 60, you know? And I'm wondering, looking around, I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? So anyway, she's explained how the retreat is going to go. And she explains that we're going to be in silence the whole time. And I had a roommate and I was excited to get to know the roommate. And she's like, you don't talk even in the rooms. You don't talk anywhere. You come and we meditate and you have a guided meditation. And then everything else happens in silence. So here I am, 21-year-old Ashtanga practitioner, being in the wrong place at the wrong age. And what happened was, the first day I'm like, okay, Anna, you can make it. You can do it. Second day, I was like so antsy. I could not stay quiet. It was 24/7. Like it was not just I make a choice to stay quiet. It was like all the time.
Like Vipassana.
So by day 3, I would go to the kitchen, look at people in the eyes and start making funny faces to get a reaction. So anyway, at the end of the retreat, Ty, her husband, said to me, I'm very proud of you. I thought you were going to leave the first day. Because I think quiet it's a quality. It's a beautiful thing. But you, in my perspective, you learn slowly and gradually how to get to that space of being comfortable, quiet, or meet the quietness and not the loudness of the world or yourself. And if it doesn't come natural, like it came to you, to me it was a process. So I couldn't, and I'm grateful for all of it. I mean, it was a moment that I realized, oh my God, I had a long way to go. And I have a lot of empathy for people that dare to start these practices. And they can't manage and they get disappointed and they keep insisting and they get different information from different people. And finally, they find that quiet place within. Yeah,
because it is challenging.
It's a process,
and it's also for many people, it's like very confronting.
Absolutely,
to be in that space. It's a confronting the discomfort of being in that space and not knowing. Yeah, like funny faces, like wanting feedback,
of course, or interaction. You know, like that. That was so important to me at that time. You know, now I can sit in quiet and not talk to the person next to me, or I'm really private person now. Like I'm out in the world and then I withdraw and go in and
see, like assess. For example, because I also feel like we as retreat leaders could go on retreats as well, right?
Absolutely.
So one of the retreats that has been on my kind of a, bucket list, let's call it like that, is to go to a darkness retreat.
Ah, okay. That's a new layer.
Yeah, it's called Sky Cave Retreats in Oregon.
Okay.
It's a couple that runs this center. I've been investigating for a while.
Right.
If I go, I want to go to like
something super, special to you, like very special to you.
And they have like a little wooden cabin and you're basically in this eye mask the whole time. And I see that there is also another one that opened in Poland by a German owner. So I'm very intrigued by this because I feel like this is maybe a next level for me, for my growth, to be in the darkness for a few days and
see what that does for your senses and your understanding.
Yeah.
Tell me this, like there is a huge boom in the wellness community right now. And there is, I watch it happen, but like back in the day when we started doing retreats, it was like, what is this? And then now everybody does retreats. And it's, to be honest, I'm not either intimidated or I feel there's abundance. Like I'd rather people go to retreats, either yoga, meditation, whatever pulls the fitness, whatever that is, and they combine with their time off and doing something physically or for their mind and spirit than go on vacation and dancing and drinking and doing drugs or whatnot. The two extremes. But how do you feel about the wellness community and the whole retreat business, I would call it, because it's a part of it, obviously, it's a business.
Honestly, I think like what you just said, better that it's, let's do it wellness style, even if it's like luxury wellness. Even when I saw Six Senses Ibiza doing cacao ceremony, I was like, okay, yes, good. It's a nice, Also living in Mallorca in such a touristic destination, I get sometimes offered work in many like 5-star hotels. And then I see, for example, that it becomes a part of the program to offer yoga, to offer meditation and great. I mean, amazing. So
why not?
Why not? Better this than, as you said, just like drinking alcohol and I don't know, just pure indulgence, let's say. Empty.
Do something for your soul and your body. And while you're vacationing, while you're taking the time off.
And I actually must say, like, I love seeing how people get hooked on yoga.
Yeah.
And usually when it started from something very, just like, I just wanted to have a better flexibility, something very simple, very easy. I just wanted to, somebody told me, or like, the best is when couples come and the partners is like, I'm just on this retreat because my wife told me. And in the end, he's the one booking the next retreat.
Right. It's beautiful to see.
I love that.
It's a different way of vacationing. So
absolutely,
vacationing and taking the time off. And I think that people don't understand how much they hold on or they carry on themselves by doing daily stuff and being in the city in a different energetic environment. And when they come to these type of things, that you're not just sitting and lying down and, under the sun, which is beautiful, but like you're getting involved, you say yes to different activities, and you exchange in a different level. I think this is beautiful to see how they can value it better,
And also what is like beautiful about the retreats is that you know that everything is going to be great organized, because we put so much heart into it,
right.
And I know my students sometimes they just like book blindly because they're like, okay, we're going to Poland, we're going to Poland, we're going to Andalusia, because they know the food will be delicious, the location where we're going to stay is going to have a spirit. It's going to be, a place that holds you as well.
Yeah.
Like when I choose my locations, for me, it's always important that there is a soul.
Yeah.
That there is something special about that place that is like charged with energy. So, you know that all these things are taken care of. All you have to do is just come and become available, and
details are taken care of.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody is taking care of that. Tell me this. You use Instagram a lot, and I want you to tell me how that feels, how that helped you, or give me perspective on social media and your teaching and all of that. Like, I don't want to put you like in particular question, but just tell me your experience with social media. And
I think for the last few years that I started to grow more and more on Instagram, I actually started to love this platform.
Okay.
Which not always been like that. There was definitely a phase where I felt lost with it, when I felt frustrated, where I was like, what the hell is this? But then the more I started to do different courses and started to unpack, and I was like, I'm going to crack it. I want to understand what is this about, right?
Yeah.
And I started to understand why it's called social media. Duh.
All right.
It's called social media for a reason. It's like what we're doing right now.
Right.
It's not anymore
having a
about
conversation.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
And it's having a conversation, having a connection with your community. I see who watches my stories daily. I see who is behind there. It's not some sort of like, person on a cloud number 6 that I'm scared of anymore. And if people judge, let them judge. But I think the biggest shift for me was, instead of being preoccupied and worried and feeling whatever fear of showing myself authentically, I redirected my radar into who are the people that I'm interested to hop on Malva Yoga train. And now I just talk to those people. And whoever is not interested, it's okay.
They'll find somebody else. It's fine.
So I think that was the biggest shift for me. And now I feel playful on this platform. I love it, actually. I love going there. Of course, I need to be careful not to, do it too much. So to be like mindful, so as how much I show up, I use it, because it's easy to,
Yeah. Again, you have to get out, like you have to overdo it. Sometimes, I'm trying to find the balance. Like I'm in the states that I'm contemplating between exposure and like inner work, and like I go back and forth with this. I understand the value of it, and you communicate, and it's a platform you communicate, and then I resist, and I'm like, no, this is inner work. I go back and forth with it, and but by going back and forth, I find my way through it. So, and it's exactly what you said. It's a communication. It's a way to communicate, and each teacher find their spirit in it. It's just some people say no, and I don't agree with that. I think in every setup, whatever you put yourself in, you have learned. Like you have
we wouldn't meet if it was not for Instagram.
I know, that's very true. I said, come on over. And you said yes.
And here we are. I have to say, what happened was I get maybe, 10 to 20 follows every day.
Yeah.
Okay. And I not always check who is the new follower.
Yeah.
And I don't have an automatization that sends all this like automatic things
me neither.
people.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It was like a divine intervention. I saw your name and I clicked on your account.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's a Greek yoga teacher. And then I sent you a message. I never do it. Like I normally don't do it.
I thought it was automated.
No, it was not. It was not. And then I was like, you say like, hey, cool. Thank you for the follow. And maybe one day our paths will cross and we share practice together. And then
I said, yes, me too. Yeah. And I replied, and here we are.
I'm asking you about the car rental.
It doesn't matter why and how, but I love it. This is the beauty of when people are open. And they don't put all these hats on, and they communicate from a nice, deep, open space with no egos or who am I, who she is, and whatnot. I like spontaneously amazing things unfold, and I believe in that. I live my life like this. It's just be open to, and I'm not, it's not the yoo-hoo stuff, be open all the time. You have to be mindful where you open your energy. And I'm very big in exchange. You give, you take, you give, you take. So right now I've learned through this beautiful burnout that I need things to recharge me as well in a deeper level. And that's how this came about. I want these deep conversations with people that we can share information, wisdom, understandings, perspectives.
Right.
Because we don't know it all. No, we need others to.
And also, let's say maybe to show that kind of depth on Instagram in just reels that are like 10, 6 seconds. It's difficult. It's like you can put a little teaser, and maybe that's also what is in our society these days. This weird thing about swipe, like
too quick.
I mean, even when we're like doing the dating apps, in like 2 seconds you're realizing somebody's up for you or not. I mean, how crazy is that? As species, we're a bit crazy. Would you not agree? And
Absolutely.
then we have this platform now, and who would have thought? Like even. Back in the 90s, we didn't have mobile phones, and we grew up. We're the last generation growing up without mobile phones. Without screens.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, that's like our main way of communication. So sometimes we sit on the buses and trains, and then you see everybody with a screen. And how crazy is that? No, that this is our reality these days. That we connect sometimes easier through the social media than in the real life.
Yeah, it's really lovely. But at the same time, I want to see the goodness into the resilience that our humans have. And what I mean by that is like, I lived in an era that you had to put your finger on the phone and kind of like, I don't know if you're younger than me, but like, you might have, because you live in Europe. So like the phone, you had to put the finger and they had a cord, and then we had this big cell phone. So what I mean by that, to go from there to like swipe and like quick information, I think it's incredible of what a human can possibly do. And the more invested you are into growth, take whatever is there and just be invested in the lessons, because we're definitely going to have, we have different relationship with what your kids were going to have with this technology, but I think that generation is our generation is resilient, being able to adjust in the new and the new and the new. And it's really powerful for people to invest in the new and not get stuck in the old.
Absolutely. I mean, we keep evolving. We keep evolving the whole time. The only thing is that one thing is, I think this is where yoga really helps. Like good yoga is like where everything falls apart and you can still go to your yoga.
Because your mat, it's a reference.
You can also get very lost in the matrix.
Yeah, very much so.
And so yoga is something that can anchor you and be like, okay, matrix is here. It's all happening, but I'm not just that. And I'm not losing myself in all that. Yeah. So it gives you this kind of like avenue through which you can navigate and keep going through this and still stay sane.
Through the years, one thing I appreciate the most is the ability to become more clear. Discernment, I believe, is the word between what works and what doesn't. And now I have the confidence to say, through all these years of experience, that this doesn't work for me and this works for me. So it's, I think eventually if we get at a state of understanding better ourselves, is you get that empowerment of, okay, this works, I'll keep it. or this doesn't serve me anymore. And you can make that separation and keep on working. You know, when we try to fit in or we're trying to do what others do, it's a set road, but it's not authentic. You have to ask the whys. You got to go in and look and be curious, because what you do, it doesn't work for me necessarily. Parts of it can inspire me to keep on looking, but definitely not two people are the same.
Yeah.
And how do we ask people to do the same things and have certain norms of what is acceptable and what's not? And,
this is something that I really learned over time, is that there is never like imposition. That doesn't work. And the last thing that I resonate with is like if somebody puts me into a pressure of anything. That's why I don't like when I go to a yoga class and somebody tells me how to feel. Feel this, feel that. It's like, let me feel what I feel. Right. And the same with any kind of a dogma in general. I'm so far away from that. If somebody says like, my truth is the truth, I'm like, bye-bye. Yeah. I can't do this. So the same with like any kind of like, the only way is to be vegan. The only way is to, I don't know, do pranayama like this. It has to be like that. It's like, okay, that works for you in this moment of time. That doesn't necessarily work for me right now.
Absolutely.
So it's really important to be respectful to each other. I feel also in the yoga soup community.
Absolutely.
And not be like, my practice is the practice,
My practice is the practice, and also like what you understand. I shared the story with my teacher, Chuck Miller, that we had this conversation and we talked about, I kept asking him what is the secret after like 50 years of teaching. And he said to me, he was interested to hear my perspective. So I think, and he said this amazing thing about when the conversation between people starts, we're limiting ourselves. We have to, right now we're sitting in the same space, right? I see this part, but you see this part. So we are here to help each other grow as long as the conversation has quality. I accept you. You accept me, and we exchanging that. I'm not trying to prove you that what my perspective is right? I want to hear, and I'm intrigued about how you perceive reality. And I think when people sit down and talk and exchange in that space, it's a beautiful thing. We have so much to learn from each other's shadows,
I mean, is it not also coming to this word namaste?
Yeah.
When it's like I recognize the light inside of me, and the light inside of me salutes the light inside of you, and we recognize that we come from the same source.
Absolutely. I want to go into the whole burnout. I'm very intrigued. And I know you went through that, and tell me more about that. Like, tell me a little bit what triggered the burnout for you.
The moment I hit rock bottom was definitely after the twin pregnancy. I felt like...
Oh, interesting. Not from corporate working and stuff like that.
This was easy peasy lemon squeezy. The pregnancy was what, destroyed me, because I was always like a sunshine, like I can do anything and live off coffee and yoga, and I'm happy.
True European.
Roaming around Barcelona, living my life.
Right.
But it was like what I feel when if you have no kids, is a bit like me, myself, and I, and what Malva wants to do today, and how Malva wants to spend her day. And it's like me.
Right,
and all you see is like, the tip of your nose. But the moment you have kids, everything changes, and there is no you anymore. You're gone, finished, done. You don't exist.
Yeah.
So this is like... and for me, on top, twins, which is you literally have to, this is my icon on Instagram, like 6 arms. You have to grow extra arms, 2 brains. I mean, it's just like, it's intense, so intense. And I was totally ignorant when it comes to kids. I never even thought I'm going to have kids in this lifetime. And then when I had them, I was like, okay, let's see what this is about, motherhood. But I had like 0 preparation. And I mean it. I was even not aware, like, how long does it take for them to walk? This is the level of me like figuring everything from YouTube at 3 o'clock in the morning, like how to breastfeed twins. And some woman being like,
thank you, this is so honest. Thank you so much.
And I just felt like an empty balloon. And being a yoga teacher where you can do everything with your body, kind of, to being like, I couldn't even do Paschimottanasana. I mean, when I was pregnant, imagine you have like this massive watermelon in front and you can't even tie your shoes. You have to wear, you feel like a whale and on top, not sexy. And then you have to wear like Birkenstock, you cannot fit. You have to put Crocs. It's like for a woman,
did it happen during the same pregnancy, like during the pregnancy or when you gave birth and after?
Well, the whole thing started during the pregnancy. I just basically was teaching like crazy. I was teaching
you didn't
more
slow down or
I didn't
anything.
slow down.
Okay.
And my students were laughing, saying, you're going to go drop those twins, put us in Shavasana and come back. I was teaching till almost the last day before giving birth.
Put us in Shavasana and come back. Okay.
Yeah. No. So, this is something maybe like a little thing I can say on the side. If I ever would do the whole thing again, I would do it different.
Right. Okay.
I just let it slip through my fingers because I was too insecure and I was just like still in my motor mode.
Yeah.
And that actually, that was like the start, because then you get to that peak point of, okay, now it's going to be the birth, but this is where everything starts. Mm-hmm. When they're born, it's like, no, there's no break. Now it's like, welcome. This is going to be for another 3 years. You're going to be at pure service. And that for me was like...
That's a different type of yoga though.
Yes.
Yeah, you get out of your own growth and process and you
Absolutely.
are different type like service yoga. Yeah.
Yes. And this is like all this like yamas and niyamas.
In the practice.
Absolutely.
So how long did it take you 3 years to get out of the...
Yeah, I called my friend in Ibiza, Bas, and I was like, how long this gonna take? He's like, Malva, do you want the truth answer or...
Do you want me to encourage you right now? Yeah.
He's like 3 years minimum.
Okay.
When they start walking, when they start to, be able to tell you what they want, when they start to like be more independent. We literally like as a species, like we humans, we really take our time. Yeah. Like, all the other animals just like poop and they're like already walking.
Right. We take our time. True.
We're like underdeveloped. We're born underdeveloped. Because like then when I had them, I realized, how did we make it till now?
Right,
as humans, how? We had no Pampers back then. And
so 3 years you were managing like that burnout feeling. Did you have any symptoms on your body or mind? Fatigue or what was it? Emptiness,
feeling like looking at the whole thing and being like, I'm in the wrong movie. Get me out of here. Like, I want to jump on a plane to Bali and go to Bali Spirit Fest. I don't want this. This is like too much. Yeah, because you're sleep deprived.
Do you think that there was any depression involved in it?
Sure.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah,
it was like a cocktail.
Because hormonally, there's a huge shift. We have to, like, I'm not just, there is a whole thing about
that's why it's called the postpartum depression.
Yeah.
So energetically, you feel like completely wiped out. Emotionally, you're a wreck. And then physically also, you're sleep deprived like hell. I say it as like, imagine PMSing, multiply that by 100, add a hangover of your life to it, and then stretch it into half a year time.
Oh my God.
It's like, how do you do this?
It's crazy. But 3 years in and out of that thing. And then how was your yoga practice at that time?
It was, at the beginning, I must say, every time I unroll on my mat, I was just crying. I'm not gonna lie about it. It was like just coming on that yoga mat. I was like, oh my God,
right.
I can't do this. Yeah. So what really helped me? What really helped me?
Please tell me.
Ice baths.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Really, kind of like shock your nervous system a little and give you that
coffee
boost.
Was not anymore sustainable. Yeah. Also, I couldn't drink so much coffee because I had to breastfeed. So then, if I would drink coffee, the kids will be like,
yeah.
So ice bath was actually what saved me. Thank you, Wim Hof. Thank you to become so popular in that moment of time. Because it was just like, I was doing the breath work and I was doing, when I didn't have the ice bath, I was doing the cold shower. And I actually keep that till now. Like this is actually my routine. Okay. I literally like wake up and the first thing I go, like roll myself out of bed, cold shower. I love it. And I try to go in the sea in the winter time. So I actually really love that cold water boost.
It works well with you, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
So when people come to you now that you have all this experience and they say, I'm going through a burnout, what is your biggest advice that you would give it to them as far as accepting it, working with it, overcoming it,
I don't think there is one the first one is like, let's unpack what's under this. Yeah. Where is this? Everybody will be different.
Yeah.
So first of all, what is the root cause? Because for me, it was, I'd say, this postpartum depression. And then I knew that if I just keep going, but then slowly rebuild myself and see which methods work for me to like start building myself from inside out, stronger and stronger, then I was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Got it.
But for everybody, it could be different.
It could be different.
Maybe one person needs therapy. Maybe another person needs, I don't know, ayahuasca, to go to the jungle, go there. Maybe some other person needs just being held.
Right.
That's why I say, like, sometimes for some person, it's going to work one method. And whenever I had a yoga studio, and there was also Pilates room, whenever somebody was coming to the reception and asking me, which yoga class should I take? I'm like, Amore, but like, what do you
need? Yeah.
Do you need to stop this one?
Or you want the physicality? Yeah.
Or do you want to be this one?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do a handstand in half air? Like, what is your motivation to be here? Or do you have a slip disc syndrome and you have to go to Pilates and just lie down and do,
it's beautiful what you say, because when people call me for a retreat or even a yoga class, the same thing, they, instead of asking me questions like, what are you about? And this and that, I turn always around and ask them questions, because coming on a trip, like let's say now that I'm going to Patagonia, right? I'm asking people when they hear Patagonia, what is that comes in mind? And some people, I remember a conversation I had with a gentleman that has come to my retreats before, but different setups. Like he's been in Seychelles with me, which is really like very nice location, and you can have a margarita at the beach if you want to. And I said, Patagonia is not going to be like Seychelles. It's not going to be that. It's going to be that and that. How do you feel about that? And I made him think. So now I'm going into the layer of not educating, but making aware of a little bit of what each retreat has to offer, and asking people to go through that process of, because they might like me, but meaning as a company, as a teacher, as an energy, but I want them to put the extra effort, read the schedule, invest yourself, you make a choice, a conscious choice to come with me in that trip. So then energetically we meet each other and we experience something beautiful. Otherwise, if you're always looking for somebody else to tell you what to do, it's a tricky part, you gotta take ownership of your choices. Makes sense. Like
absolutely. And it's also like on the yoga retreats, when it comes to burnout, for example, if people come with a burnout, and I do have also oftentimes young mothers that arrive to the retreat and they take that first break from being away from the child, and they just arrive and they're like, I just need to sleep. And I'm like, I know how much you're holding. I feel you,
Yeah. And, you have that
and
experience.
I say, just sleep
and come whenever.
Sleep, eat, sleep, repeat. Then
meet us later.
At some point you come to yoga. Like zero pressure.
I really like that about you. You are like, it seems to me authentically that you, through your experiences, you show up as you are, and you bring that and allowing people to be themselves. So I think that's precious, and it's really, keep on doing what you're doing. I really appreciate getting to know you, and there's something really calming and really precious when we tap into our authenticity and we show the world that you can be you. And you can be you, and it's okay. And in all of you, the wild side of you as a yoga teacher, the funny side of you, the sad side of you, we are all living the human experience. So we are not only one or the other. So if we can demonstrate that, and we are fully in our presence and in authenticity, then I think we are in the right place to lead others or kind of invite others to come and join us in whatever we do. So
totally. And some of the students do come with a burnout from work oftentimes, just being like overworked, and then, okay, let's unpack what's here. Why your work is draining you, and should you maybe change your career path? Is it a relationship? Sometimes also people come when the relationship is like, they just feeling not seen, not fulfilled. They get stuck in this kind of like constant grind and constant role playing, because that's oftentimes what happens also in the long-term relationships. You become that thing.
Right.
And then the magic is gone because you're like, I'm just playing that same role, copy paste again and again.
Right.
And then the magic, it kills the magic, no? Because we want to evolve and we want to change.
Mm-hmm.
And if in your relationship you start growing, but your partner is constantly projecting that same thing on you, that no, but you're not like that. No, you're not like that. Then you're not only cutting yourself from the possibility of that magic and growth, but on top you're with a person that is constantly telling you, no, like this you don't do.
Right.
So I think it's very important to be able to observe and assess like what is really causing that burnout first of all, and then
I would say layers, like an onion.
Yeah.
Like if something's not working, ask why.
Yeah.
Keep asking why. And then journaling or being involved around people that they're invested in growth and change. Listening perspectives and listening yourselves. I think the answers are there for people. And to be honest, I'm avoiding answering questions. I answer questions with a question.
Yeah.
Majority of time, because I don't believe in the guru business. I don't believe that
Which
people
one? Guru.
any of the guru. I don't want that responsibility personally, and I don't think any teacher should have that responsibility. The path is unique, and I think if people have space to be asked questions or listen to people and process, I would just want to give people the space to process. And that's where all the wisdom, the inner wisdom comes out for each and everyone.
And, it takes a lot of courage sometimes to do life-changing decisions. And maybe retreats are also places where you can charge yourself of that courage. Yeah. I had also sometimes moms that decided on the retreat that they had to end the relationship and be single moms, for example.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Big decisions. Yeah.
They usually come to Ibiza for that. Interesting enough.
I'm really happy you came here. We had this conversation. We get to know each other a little more. You're super welcome back to Greece. Anytime you feel inspired, now you have a Greek friend to come and not necessarily do a podcast, but
we have to come to each other's retreats.
Yes,
well. That would be amazing.
That would be great. I know. I enjoy so much to be on a retreat and I'm not teaching. So I shift the mind to the student's mind, and somebody else is responsible for leading a class or taking care of the details. So yes, I promise I'll come to your retreat. I don't know when and where, but I will come, and hopefully we'll meet again and collaborate in some way. It was great having you.
Thank you so much. Really, I'm so super happy that we could do this. Hopefully we meet again, and it would be amazing to share practice together.
Yes, absolutely. That's how it all started. Let's share practice together.
Yes.
Namaste to you.
Namaste. Thank you.